Hello, new and future residents of the United States. Today, I am going to be talking about a mindset shift that you have to have when you move to the US. And who am I? I am an international teacher recruiter, and I have helped hundreds of people move to the US. So I have seen it all. And one thing you have to realize is you are not in your home country. So, however people act, however people think, is not necessarily how people will act and think in the US. And this can be really challenging when you move to a new country. This is, of course, everywhere globally. And a huge mindset shift you are going to have is you cannot have a victim mentality. Do not be a victim. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so you might be coming from a country where you are used to a lot of bureaucracy, corruption. Maybe your politicians really exploit their power. There are limited opportunities. Your effort that you put in every day does not equal a reward. And you might just deal with a lot of instability, scarcity, a lack of security, unpredictability, and you might even be punished for standing out. In environments like this, self-protection, and caution and adopting this kind of victim mentality, it might be essential for your survival. But unfortunately, in the US, we operate on a different operating system, and having this kind of mentality of, oh, someone should help me do it, or oh no, things aren't fair, oh no, I can't do it alone. This will hinder you so much instead of accelerating you. It could get you to the point where you might get deported, you might have to leave the country, you might lose your job, or, if you survive for a while with this mentality, this could hinder you from getting a lot further than where you could be if you were to just change your mindset right when you get here. And it's not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. But you have to understand that you are in a very different country. Like I said, people think completely differently, and you really have to almost change the way your brain thinks and the way you look at things to be able to survive here. All right, so here in the US, we operate under a few kind of like default assumptions. So, number one is that you are responsible for advocating for yourself. And right now I'm speaking, pretty much in the workplace, but also just in life. No one is really going to advocate for you. That doesn't mean people won't support you, but if you are silent about something, to us, that means you accept it. So let's say there's an issue you're having in the workplace that really bothers you, but you don't say anything about it at all. Everyone around you is going to assume that you're okay with it because you don't say anything and you don't advocate for yourself. Systems won't rescue you, but they often will respond if you push correctly. And you have to do this a little bit delicately, and you have to follow a chain of command. So for example, if you have an issue in the workplace, and you suffered in silence for a while, you realized, okay, nobody is helping me, you realize that you're responsible for advocating for yourself. The next thing you could do is you could make an appointment with your immediate superior. Don't go all the way to the top, just go straight to your superior, ask for an appointment, and say, hey, could I sit down and talk to you about XYZ? It makes me uncomfortable, or whatever's going on. I really don't like how this is going. Could we switch this a little bit? Or if it's something less trivial, an email just to that person would be okay. But if you want to sit down with them, then I would request a meeting. So instead of thinking someone should fix this for me, turn that around to, who do I need to talk to? What rules are in place? What is going to make things worse? Is silence helping me? What can I do? What leverage do I have to solve my problem? So instead of letting other people kind of advocate for you and push for you, you need to try to do this on your own. Again, you can lean on some support, but you need to advocate for yourself. All right, another thing you need to do to get rid of this mentality is get "it's not fair" out of your brain, out of your vocabulary. Unfortunately, life is not fair. We all know that, right? But in the US, learning the rules, learning how your workplace works, even the law can help you a lot. Instead of just wishing things were different, now you can kind of take action. So let's say in the workplace, other people are getting promoted and you're not, and you're just sitting there sulking, oh, it's not fair, what's happening? Why don't you think to yourself, okay, how do promotions actually happen here? What behaviors get rewarded? What qualities do these people have who are getting promoted have that I can maybe adopt those qualities? What strategies are they using? Who makes decisions? Do I need more education in something? Do I need more documentation? Can I negotiate? So this is just you being strategic. Instead of sitting around thinking it's not fair, think about, okay, what is the game and how can I play it? So going along with my last point, this is very important. You need to remove any sort of emotional reactivity from any grievances you might have. So you might be thinking, oh, it's not fair, and you have your emotions like we all do, but you can't let that show in the workplace. You have to stick to the facts and be very practical. So, let's say you are talking to your superior about someone who got a promotion and you want to know why that happened, or maybe you're facing an obstacle in the workplace. You want to name that obstacle without a story, without your emotions, just name why it's a challenge for you, and identify some options. What can you do to fix it? And then choose the highest leverage action. What can you do? And then detach your ego from your outcome. This is big, even for me. It's hard for me to do sometimes too. But you really have to keep your emotions out of it. So, for example, let's say you sent an email to another colleague and they didn't respond. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, they ignored my email. So now you're going to your superior. Maybe your superior is saying, hey, why aren't you guys collaborating? What's going on? And you sent them an email, but they didn't respond. And you say, oh, well, so-and-so ignored my email. No, you can kind of change it to what follow-up cadence would work here? Who else can I copy? Is there another form or another process that I can work with to get a response out of someone? So you don't want to seem very emotional. And in conclusion, be careful who you vent to. I have another video about be careful who you listen to, but be careful who you vent to. So sometimes this will reinforce that victim narrative. People are just going to think, oh, so-and-so just complains all the time. If it's so bad here, why did they leave, their home country? So you can, kind of step on some toes there. Or you might be venting to people within your own community, and they might reinforce this victim mindset in your head. They might say, yeah, the system is stacked against us. They'll never let us succeed. You just have to accept it. Is that really true, or is that the easy way out? Because there are many immigrants in the US that have made it and really pulled themselves up from the bootstraps and done a lot. So think about who you're venting to, and maybe you shouldn't really be venting to people at all. If you want a mentor or peers to talk to, make sure you are talking to people who are responsible, who understand the US systems, and people who are solution oriented and not people who just focus on complaints. You can vent briefly, but then let them provide a solution and listen, and then kind of detach your emotions from it. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope this kind of helps maybe shift your mindset a little bit if that's where you are. It can be very difficult. We've all been there, even if you're born and raised in the US, it's easy to fall into a trap where you just complain and think all the odds are stacked against you. But sometimes you just have to redefine strength. And this could be just, asking for clarity, finding a solution, and advocating for yourself. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will post more soon. See you later.